Hello. Last time we looked into how I write my documents with LaTeX. This time I want to go into automated build systems. So when I'm writing, it can be a bit of a hassle to go from Vim. Let's go ahead and do that. To go from Vim, and then we do our little editing here. Once upon a time, there was a girl, and then go into a shell and trigger a build with make, um, and then view the changes in Zathura, and there you go. It can be a bit of a hassle to go through that whole rigmarole, and what I want is for that stuff to be automated. Now you can use a Vim plugin called VimTech, but I find that this obfuscates from the user what exactly is going on, and I like to control my build system. Even if it ends up being a little bit more fiddly as a result, I know what's going on. I know what is involved, and it works for me. So that's where FWA comes in. It's a file watcher for openbsd, similar to FSWatch, but much more simple and streamlined. You use it to know when files have been updated, and then you can execute commands in response. So let's start by installing the package. Okay. And let's check out the man pages. And as you can see, it's very simple, very straightforward. It even gives you a little example here so you can get started with your own build system. Let's play around with it. So let me watch all the files in this directory and any child directories, and let's see what it does. Actually, let me do that. Let's go back to this chapter here, and then go here, and then the same thing here. Okay. As we can see, if I write this file, it just spits out. Well, it spits out the parent directory and then the file itself, and that's mostly because I have two little entries here, and it's grabbing them both, so it's triggering both of these patterns. But that's okay. And let's say I do another file. Let's say I update the README and write to that. It catches that file, and then like if I update the make file, and it does that. So it's pretty straightforward. It does one thing and one thing only. It runs continuously, watching for file updates based on this pattern here that you specify, and then it outputs those file names into standard out. That's basically what it does. And then you can use this to pipe into other programs, like you saw in the man page. So let's go ahead and I think we can check out the bin build script that I have here. And it's basically the same thing. It's calling FWA and then piping that into this while loop where it's calling this function handle, and it's reading from standard input. And then if any of those files that have been updated are tech files, then run make. Now, you can also use xargs, which basically takes input from standard input, and you can run commands with that too. Like I think the command would be like this, and then xargs n1 I%, and then just make. But the topic isn't about xargs, though I might go into it in the future. But it's let's actually just run the build script. Actually, hold on. Let's go back to here. Run the build script here, and then let's. There was a girl. She went on an adventure, and then it triggers the build there. And then we can run Zathura. Look at that. That's great. Okay. Let's see. And then whoopsie. Let's go back to Vim. Let's see. Here we go. And then we can do another one. Let's say the end. And then the build script runs again. And then after a bit, you can see the changes on the left. There you go. Uh, so, so that is the build system. Just using small, simple utilities that I understand, piping them into each other to create something that is usable in my daily workflow. If you have any questions for me, be sure to check out my website, josephchoe.com. I'll be on Twitter, GitHub, Reddit, all the usual stuffs. Farewell.